do a stream. And basically, I want to talk about a couple of things. Of course, I want to talk about Shakur Stevenson, who will be in action this weekend. Shout out to my correspondent. I sent somebody there to cover that fight. I couldn't make it, so I got somebody that's covering the fight on my behalf. So shout out to my correspondent. And shout out to Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson always have given me access, giving me interviews and all that stuff. So shout out to Shakur Stevenson. It's going to be a great card tomorrow. Going to be a stacked card. I'm definitely going to be watching it, you know. So, you know, once again, shout out to my correspondent that's going to be covering the fight on my behalf. But at the end of the day, this is just, you know, a stay busy fight for Shakur. He takes every fight serious, but this is for him to get some work in, you know, coming off his last performance, you know, towards the end of last year around September. So, you know, it's just basically him staying busy and trying to get another fight in this year. Now, who would it be? That remains to be seen. They're saying it could be Devin Haney, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I kind of believe that's a fight that they don't want to make right now. I feel like that's a fight that they want to make maybe a year or two down the line, make it a more marketable, sellable fight, you know, and then there's no guarantee that Devin Haney is going to stay at 135. You know, I talked to Bill, and Bill did give me a definitive answer whether they were staying at 135 or moving up to 140. But, you know, that's one of the things I want to talk about. I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that in a few minutes, but I wanted to talk about another topic at hand, another hot topic, which seems to be Cap once again. I wonder where all this information is coming from about a potential June 17th showdown between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Because from what Stephen Espinosa is saying, ain't nothing set in stone, and it looked like they are far and away from anything being official. Now, you've been hearing that Keith Thurman is option number 2 in case they can't get Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence done, which I believe that it's going to be Keith Thurman anyway, and that this is just a marketing ploy to get people interested in this fight or get people amped up for this fight when we all know that it appears that probably Keith Thurman will be fighting Errol Spence. I will be surprised if Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence is made for June 17th. And I think it's getting to the point to where maybe Stephen Espinosa is getting tired of, like, you know, basically having to answer questions about this kind of stuff. I just believe that this fight is happening. I don't believe that for a second Errol Spence, after a year layoff, is going directly into a fight with Terrence Crawford. Because if that's the case, he really is selling Terrence Crawford short. And that's really going to motivate Terrence Crawford to go in there and try to win that fight. So I'm just keeping it a buck. I don't believe that that's the fight that's going to happen in June. I believe the fight is going to be Keith Thurman. I believe Keith Thurman was always the option. I believe they was just using Terrence Crawford's name. And from what Stephen Espinosa is saying, that there ain't going to be no announcement in a couple of weeks. So now these people that's sitting up here saying that it is going to happen indefinitely, this is why I kept saying, hold on, pause, wait a minute. We done been down this road way too many times. They had over a year to make this fight, and it didn't seem like it was really a valid effort to make this fight. Terrence Crawford was available pretty much from November of 21, and basically there was no real effort to make this fight. And now all of a sudden it then changed. And even if they do try to make a Terrence Crawford fight, they probably wouldn't try to make the fight till around September or October, after Terrence Crawford turns 36, which would seem even more suspicious in that they tried to age Terrence Crawford out. Terrence Crawford will be 36 September the 28th. So I don't know. I'm just not buying into this, because I done been down this mythical, Wiz, follow the yellow brick road. Nah, not anymore. Not anymore. Like I said before, until I see an actual press conference with those two guys standing on opposite sides of each other, then I'll actually believe it. And some people saying they won't actually believe it till it's fight week or fight day, till they actually see these two guys walking towards the ring. And I don't blame them, because too many times the PBC then played and cried wolf with us. Too many times. So if people don't believe the PBC and Al Heyman and Errol Spence, because they ain't came out looking too good in this situation, because you didn't had the PBC all over the place. From they don't know if they could give Terrence Crawford an offer that wouldn't be insulting to him, and they worried about streaming and all this kind of stuff. But then, okay, they're saying that Tank versus Ryan Garcia is going to do astronomical amounts of pay-per-views. But here you have a fight where nothing is on the line, but they saying that's a more important fight than Spence versus Crawford. So let me get this straight. They're not worried about streaming with this fight, but they worried about streaming with Spence versus Crawford. Do that make any kind of sense, you guys? Do that make any kind of sense whatsoever? So you're not worried about streaming with this particular fight, but you worried about streaming with Spence versus Crawford. So they didn't created some kind of technology to keep you from streaming this fight that they could have invented last year for Spence versus Crawford. Okay. Yeah. But if you believe it, if you like it, I don't love it. And this is why I have a question mark, and this is why I'm giving this fight the people's eyebrow. And then based off what Steven Espinosa said, like, okay, this don't look like this is even remotely done. All he have said, they just resumed talks. But then I thought they never stopped talking. I just seen an interview where it sounded like Steven Espinosa said they just resumed talks. But I thought he said before that they never stopped talking. So which one is it? Have they been talking? Have they never stopped talking? Have they resumed talks? Did they temporarily freeze all talks and negotiations pertaining to this fight? I'll be paying attention to stuff. See, even the Errol Spence apologists don't know what to do, because they afraid that they're going to come out looking stupid in this situation. Well, some of them are. Because you already know what their whole motto is. Their whole motto is blame this on Terrence Crawford at all costs. And that's why you shouldn't even take a lot of them dudes serious. That's the plan. So I don't know what Malika Andrews did to Jalen Rose. I have no idea. And I don't give a damn if she is from the Bay. She a dangerous, arrogant woman. And that's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to leave it at that. I am not a fan of Malika Andrews. But one day Malika Andrews is going to get too big for her bridges. And she going to have an epic slip up. And she going to get dead. Just like Michelle Beadle. And I'm just going to leave it at that. But yeah, getting back to Spence Crawford before I go into the Devin Haney discussion. Just play it by ear. Like I said, do not start making reservations to Las Vegas. Now, if it happens, I'll be the first one to come on here and say I was wrong. But I will be surprised because I have no reason to believe that this fight is going to take place June the 17th. Whatsoever. Now, let's get to Devin Haney. And I'm really finna break this down. They're already gonna try to discredit Devin Haney if he wins this fight. Now, the funny thing is, this is the same double standard you saw earlier with, Angel Reese, and Caitlin Clark. It's okay for her to do the John Cena, you can't see me. But when it was her, then all of a sudden she was called classless and ghetto and all type of other names and stuff. So, it's always a double standard. Now, just like with this fight, if Lomachenko wins, you're going to hear people say, oh, Lomachenko is back at number 1 pound for pound because he beat Devin Haney. He's undisputed. But if Devin Haney wins, they weight bullied Lomachenko. Oh, he was too big for Lomachenko. And see, Lomachenko calculated this. And he started to put that out there. He knew what he was doing when he said, oh, my God, you look like a heavyweight. Because Lomachenko wanted to put that out there just in case he lost. Oh, Devin Haney was too big. But I'm gonna take it a little. I'm gonna take it a little further. I'm gonna get really deep with this, and I'm gonna dive in deep because I'm gonna say what a lot of people is afraid to say pertaining to this fight. The real reason why they don't want Devin Haney to win this fight, because I'll say it. Now, it's funny, Devin Haney can't have any demands. He can't have any demands. He can't have any requirements. But yet, when Devin Haney had to go win the belt, he had to go to Australia, not once, but twice, to win the belts and to defend it. But you got Lomachenko fans and fake boxing fans complaining about Devin Haney possibly being too big. And then Mauricio Sullivan, which, why is he even involved in this? He should only be worried about sanctioning. And that's it. He should only be worried about the belts. Who's going to represent the WBC that night? Oh, I've seen Devin Haney blow up 24 pounds or rehydrate. Why are you worried about it? You act like you got a personal stake in it. And you don't. Why are you so emotionally invested? And see, this is where Mauricio Sullivan shows his bias. See, his father wasn't like this. His dad didn't care. Now, his dad was, you know what I'm saying, was a little bit better. He didn't move like his son did, but I mean, good grief. Mauricio Sullivan just shows blatant bias towards certain fighters. Okay? That's just real talk. At the end of the day, I'm going to hit y'all with the same thing you would tell other people. Oh, well, Lomachenko signed the contract. All you've been hearing is excuse after excuse and basically games being played by Team Lomachenko, allegedly, behind the scenes. trying to get this fight done. I wouldn't be surprised. I hope, all I can say is, I just hope that we get a fight. That's all I'm saying. I just hope we get a fight. I don't want to hear about no injuries or none of that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. I just hope it doesn't happen. Because it kind of makes me wonder, is Lomachenko really sure of himself? Because when he pulled that, oh, you look like a heavyweight, he kind of came across as a dude that wasn't sure of himself. That's what he came across as, a guy that wasn't sure of himself, who didn't think he could win this fight. But I promise you, if Lomachenko does win this fight, you're going to have all these Lomachenko fans or bandwagon fans coming out the woodworks. Oh, give Lomachenko his credit. Oh, Lomachenko should be number one pound for pound because he's undisputed and he beat Devin Haney and blah, 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 blah. But if Devin Haney wins, they're going to try to discredit him. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. It's the same thing with Triple G. It's the same thing with Triple G. They don't want to see Lomachenko lose to a black fighter. That's all it come down to. That's why when it pertained to certain fights for Triple G, they were sure he could win. Oh, that fight don't make sense. That fight doesn't make sense. Why should he have that fight? That fight doesn't make sense whatsoever. Y'all knew that Triple G didn't want to fight elite black fighters. And when he fought a decent black fighter in Daniel Jacobs, you seen what happened with that fight. A lot of people thought Daniel Jacobs won that fight. You seen what Triple G did. He ducked Demetrius Andrade. He ducked Jamal Charlo. He didn't want to give Daniel Jacobs a rematch. And this is what you're seeing with Devin Haney. And I don't want to hear this stuff. Oh, the reason why people don't like Devin Haney is because he said he can't see himself losing to a white boy. Oh, okay. And what about that racist stuff that Paulie Malignaggi was saying pertaining to black fighters? Y'all didn't care about that. Like I said, they don't want Devin Haney to beat Lomachenko. See, they can stomach Lomachenko losing to Salinas or Teofimo Lopez, but if he loses to Devin Haney, that's going to crush a lot of these people. That's going to crush a lot of his so-called fans. And that's just the truth. See, we run away from these situations, and I always saw this. See, a lot of people believe that Devin Haney is going to win this fight, and they're worried about it. Like I said, when I was clowning Triple G, calling him a fraud, I got a lot of, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of criticism. People were mad at me. Tell Andre Ward to leave Triple G alone. Oh, Triple G versus Demetrius Andrade, that doesn't make any kind of sense. Triple G versus Jermell Charlo, that doesn't make any kind of sense. Oh, he already beat Daniel Jacobs. He fought Canelo twice. Actually, 3 times. So why couldn't he give Daniel Jacobs a rematch? But that's Triple G for you. And that was his fans. That was his fans. And this is Lomachenko's so-called fans. They do not want Devin to win that fight. They do not want... It will break their heart if they see Triple G... Well, it would. It would have broke their heart to see Triple G lose to a black fighter when they was making him this unstoppable force. Like I said, fighting all those tomato cans, fighting all those Uber drivers, getting praised for fighting Uber drivers. But yet these are the same people that will try to hate on Terrence Crawford's resume, that will try to hate on Devin Haney's resume, try to hate on Tank's resume. But then Triple G was fighting Foot Locker worker after Foot Locker worker, fighting bus drivers, fighting cab drivers, fighting people that worked at Chipotle, fighting people that worked at Taco Bell, fighting truck drivers, but got all the praise in the world for beating up truck drivers. But these the same people that was knocking Deontay Wilder's resume. But this is what's really worrying people. They are worried that Devin Haney is going to beat the hell out of Triple G. See, Devin Haney is the wrong guy. But he going to be the right guy. He going to be the right guy. When Devin Haney wins that fight, it's gonna start. You gonna see all of it. Oh, Devin Haney, he's a weight bully. Oh, he bullied. But here's the thing: when Canelo was being a weight pimp, it was all good. Oh, well, Canelo's the star. Oh, Canelo's the A-side. Oh, Canelo's the champ. That's just come with the territory. Well, that come with the territory with Lomachenko. He got, he just got to live with it. Devin Haney is the champ. He got to live with it. He signed on the dotted line. He signed on the dotted line. But see what he was doing back in October, he was trying to put out subliminals. Oh, if I lose to Devin Haney, it's because he's way bigger than me. He's too big for me. He's much bigger than me. Oh, he looks like a heavyweight. Devin Haney don't look remotely like no damn heavyweight. So stop the cap. And then once again, why is Mauricio Sullivan so emotionally invested in this fight? He shouldn't even be worried about somebody's weight. His job is just to congratulate the winner who will represent their belt in that particular weight class. Well, he copped the plea after he beat, you know what I'm saying? After he beat Jermaine Ortiz. He already had it, and he barely got past him. Barely got past him. So, of course, oh my God, he looks like a heavyweight. Come on, dude. He didn't even look like a middleweight. I done stood next to Devin Haney. Devin ain't that big. Devin is not that big. It's not that big. They basically saying that Devin Haney is bigger than Crawford. Bigger than Errol Spence for the most part. That I mean, it's cap. It's cap. It's cap. And I'm telling y'all now, don't take the bait. It's cap. It's cap. It's just a built-in excuse. Like I said before, to me, I just think Lomo just don't want to go through with this fight. I just think he don't think he can win this fight. But basically what he doing is sending a subliminal to his fans, or the lack of fans he got. Oh, if I lose this fight, it's because Devin Haney was much bigger than me. But like I said, if he wins, you're going to hear everybody, oh, give Lomachenko his credit. Give him his credit. Give him his credit. Give him his credit. Oh, you got to say he's number 1 pound. I promise you, they're going to be saying, oh, Lomo should be number 1 pound per pound if he wins, which he ain't. He's not. But I'm saying I'm saying if that was to happen, only one person gonna get credit for winning, and that's Vasil Lomachenko. Devin Haney, they already trying to discredit the dude. And that's what I can't stand about this stuff. Already trying to discredit the brother. But then they ain't thinking about how Lomachenko stalled this fight. This fight really was supposed to get set for February. But, you know, they couldn't get some things squared away till now. And I think Devin is training at night because I think he's still doing Ramadan. I got to see when Ramadan ends. And Bill told me exactly how they train him. But yeah, they already trying to find a way to discredit Devin Haney. Like I said, as long as the brother don't win, then it's all good. But anyway, thank you guys for tapping in. I gotta get some rest, but I'm gonna be back with some heat later on. It's your boy Town Biz. I'm out.